Hello and welcome to the Open Ike Show, where we open up about open mics. I'm your host, Isaac Kiner. Our guests this week, we've got Kayla Dahl and Sam Sweets. And if you could just raise your hand if this applies to you, please. Actress, comedian, filmmaker, Reiki practitioner, photographer, and host of the Fireside Mic. There we go. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And our first question is, what do LA open mics mean to you?
Interesting. LA open mics in general or our mic?
I would like you to interpret the question. I mean, if the answer is our mic, then...
Okay. Sam, would you like to take
Well, I think my first sound said most of it. Open mics, look, in essence, they are a beautiful thing. They provide opportunity. They provide a place to workshop, a place to grow, a place to cultivate young, raw, artistic talent. Often that talent is so raw and so, I don't know, artistic to the borderline of mental health issue, perhaps.
Sure.
That doing open mics all the time will definitely wear a person's soul to fucking shreds. So there's like the beauty and the hope of it, but then also after the grinding and the doing it and the going up after so many men that are clearly using it as free therapy, and it can be a lot. And I think that's, to bring it back to our mic, what's so great about what we have provided, mostly Kayla has provided, but that she lets me be a part of and help.
Well, she's instrumental. Do you mind if I take it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think we've created something pretty lovely and soft.
We have. No, but we've created it together. And so to piggyback on what she's saying, I would say the LA open mic scene, to be quite frank, is a little bit trash.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's just call a spade a spade.
Sure.
And there are, the Los Angeles comedy community in general is not trash. It's just that open mics are open, which means any person on the planet can go, and they can go up as many times as they want. And there's no filter, there's no system, there's no vetting. And there are people who are unsavory characters,
Right.
Unsafe towards women, especially, not just in speech, but in physical violence.
Right.
And so, not to make this so serious, I know this is a comedy podcast, but there is a need for not just safe spaces, but spaces that feel like they are at least slightly curated, or that there is an experience that you're going to have a fun time, and a place that women or people of different gender identities or diverse things that are not just straight white dudes or right-wing dudes that are coming up there to complain,
Right.
to be quite frank, that they can have a place to go. So I guess, the Fireside Mic, which is what we do. So I live on a hobby farm in Shadow Hills, which is just north of Burbank. And we have chickens and we have a fire pit. My husband built a stage and we literally just have a mic in the backyard. It's kind of a campfire vibe. It's under the stars.
It really feels more like a show.
Yeah.
It is, because that is one thing about open mics that can be really brutal, is you go there to test material in front of an audience, but then that audience is 5 other people on their notebook because they're all just other people at the open mic. And one thing I really love about Fireside, and apparently that other people love because they keep coming, is that we do have people that really come just to watch, which I've never experienced at any other open mic. I have run other open mics. Even I ran a mic at Third Wheel that was women safe that I loved, but we never got audience. You never got people that came to the mic just to watch that weren't going to go up or weren't other comedians, and we definitely get that at Fireside, which is so beautiful because it really does make it feel more like a show.
Yeah, because we really drive the point home of this is a hang, this is a party, this is a vibe, invite your friends. So we have a lot of regulars that have no plans to ever try comedy, that just come to enjoy. And it's also a variety mic. So we are open to music and comedy and poetry. So I think that also contributes to the overall joyful, creative, artistic.
Yeah, not
vibe.
just having comedians makes it more joyful. Weird.
I get the sense that the mixed mics, like in town, right, do have more of that audience a little bit. Like I've just been doing the comedy mics, and it's really, like you said, it's you and people. With
Yeah,
notebooks.
it's built in because even if you only have other people that are there for the mic, if it's a mixed mic, the musicians will watch the comedians, be like, oh, that's new and different, and I will laugh at it because I don't feel competitive about their jokes.
Yeah,
and
right, exactly.
the comedians can watch the musicians and just enjoy it and not get in their head about it or how would I write it different or, thinking about, the joke science of it all. So it allows for more audience.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And how often are you guys doing the mic?
So it's a seasonal thing. So it's a little unusual, but because it's an outdoor thing, and I strongly feel that the draw of this mic that creates this audience is this like outdoor experience. We do it basically from like spring through November. So like I would say roughly like,
There's still time?
November we've
Yeah,
got
we're gonna do one more.
One more this
We
year.
went to pick a date to plug on here, but we forgot. But we'll get it to you before it airs.
Yeah.
Awesome. Send me the Eventbrite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
will.
yeah.
We
We'll
will
pick it afterwards.
Yeah, after this we will put it in and we'll plug it in. We have
It's
one
usually
more
a party full.
We get one more chance in 2025 to do a fireside mic, and then we go into hibernation.
Yeah.
Because I think that's also what's kind of fun about our mic is that it's a limited engagement.
Yeah, you can't do it all the time. It's not every week. It's once a month, and for just part of the year. We took part of spring off last year because they got married, and that was what the house was being used for.
Congratulations.
Great reason to not do an open mic.
Oops. Sorry. I was busy being married.
I was getting married, then we had to go on a honeymoon. It's like a whole thing.
Oops. But yeah, I mean, basically 6 months out of the year-ish is when this mic is running, and it's once a month. So it is very different than a lot of mics, which are weekly, comedians only, indoors. There's like a lot of different factors that are very different than what we do. But I have been to all those mics, of course.
Yeah,
and
we've done them.
And it's completely different, like she's saying, where you're not playing to people who are listening. You are playing to comics that are on their phones or with their notebooks, trying to remember what they're going to say in their set.
I remember when I realized that that's what I was doing. And
Right.
so clearly that's what everyone else is doing. And I try and support and be attentive, but
Right.
sometimes the nerves or whatever it is get.
And then on the opposite, if you're not doing that, if you go to like the bigger mics at the Improv or whatever, everyone's auditioning. So it also doesn't feel like you can really work stuff out. Because the first times I went to that, I remember being like, oh, it's an open mic. And I was like, no, it's not. It's an audition. So you're actually not always working out new stuff there. You're trying to bring tight stuff there.
And I love that part of the process is like picking the goal of each mic and kind of understanding what you're trying to do there and then coming up with the material, whether it's something new or, something works. Your mic, I think I'd probably use it more to showcase something a little more curated and kind of.
You can do both though, because I have actually been able to work out new material in a good way if it is, because you actually are getting the reaction from the crowd, right? That is the ultimate goal of doing the open mic, why you don't just do bits to yourself, because when you can hear how the audience reacts and when the audience reacts, and then you can like think of those buttons in the moment or the way to speak to where the reaction is, or like, oh, I hear you on, like I end up doing jokes and then people are quiet. And I'm like, I get it. I've been to therapy. Like you're speaking to what the audience reaction is, but you need the audience to be engaged in order to have that reaction.
Right.
And you're not getting at some mics.
Yeah, and like I would say, I hear what you're saying, but you haven't been yet, right?
Right.
And I would say like, it's a very intimate setting, and Sam and I, we really drive home the point to all of the normies that attend, where we say, every single time we say, this is an open mic, this is untested material.
Yeah.
These are new songs, new jokes, new everything. These are artists that are bringing you their very vulnerable new things, and they want you to be generous with your laughter, generous with your applause, generous just with your energy. Right. And so we really like try to cultivate that atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I think that's like something that a lot of open mic hosts like that really is what sets the tone.
Sure.
Because to give a shout out, we've already talked about her before off mic, is Genesis Soul with Witty Titties. She makes that mic. Like, it's not just that it's all women. There have been plenty of all-female mics that are great and fine, but the reason that it is so successful is that she sets a tone where in that room it is safe to say anything you would want to say, and everyone who is in that room is listening.
Yeah.
And is going to give you their generous energy. They're not going to laugh when something isn't funny, but they are going to be generous.
Yeah.
Right?
But they will laugh when it is funny, which doesn't always happen
Right.
at other mics.
I try and snap because that kind of comes naturally to me and it's audible and stuff.
Well, we also are open to poetry, so snaps are
There you go.
Yeah,
I think that's where it came from. But my favorite rooms my favorite mics are ones where the host at the beginning of the mic says something to kind of establish like, hey, don't forget to laugh. You know,
I did do a mic years ago at Third Wheel, RIP, which started as a workshop, like talkback mic, which I always kind of loved because we could give each other feedback, which I love doing. If I hear someone's joke and I'm like, I thought of a tag for you, I am so happy to give that. And I think that's like one of the really nice community things that could happen in open mics if people paid attention to each other and felt giving instead of just focusing on their own thing in their own space. And I think, letting people give feedback publicly did make them more engaged with the other person's thing because it's like, well, what am I going to say about it? And then they would watch. Then we would end up having to somehow mediate the feedback and be like, don't give feedback on people's like looks or what, or I just don't like this concept. Like that's not helpful.
Right.
And that we started having to light the feedback and be like, no, okay, you only get 30 seconds of feedback. Like you're doing a full 5 minutes now from the audience. But I did love that it kept people engaged because you feel like, I think that's the thing with a lot of the like, I'm just doing it for the grind. I'm getting my 10,000 hours, whatever. You get people that are there to clock in, do their time on stage, get out. They're not engaging with the other comics. They're not building like the sense of community that is what the really good mics usually do end up bringing.
1,000%.
I've only done like 2 mics in the same day once, and it was like just before a showcase, and so I was running,
you got to do your
across town.
The
But I had to leave the first show early to get to the second show. I didn't feel terrible. I knew I was doing something I shouldn't be doing.
But everyone's doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not the only one.
No, I know. And so the mics I like are the ones where they stick around, and I've been to mics where they kind of incentivize and like maybe do a lottery pull at the end for some. Next week you get a blah 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 or something. So it definitely starts with host, and so you've done an awesome job describing your mic. Is there anything else that kind of sets it apart from the other mics in the city?
There's a lot.
There are Peacocks.
Yeah.
So if you don't know in Shadow Hills, it's one of the couple of neighborhoods in LA where peacocks roam wild and free. And they seem to really love to heckle our mic. They have a lot to say. And I don't know if you have heard peacocks.
I mean, literal peacocks, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there are
birds.
wild peacocks that run my neighborhood.
Like fans of NBC. I don't know what we're talking, but no.
And it's an equestrian neighborhood. We're near a horse ranch.
Yeah.
So you're just like, to your point of creating community and not being able, like, you literally can't really do our mic and then run off to another mic because geographically, it's not going to work out for you, bro.
Even though it's not that far. Like it's just above Burbank. Like
I always tell people it's
Lancaster or something.
10 minutes north of Burbank, but still, once you're there, like you sink into it, and everyone, like you just exhale and you go, oh.
It's funny. I mean, I can already feel it, and I think part of it is like I saw the Instagram post, and so like I get a sense for the kind of space.
Yeah.
But you guys do a good job. It's like cultivating the vibe and just kind of putting up.
And it's also like that we tell people, we have people hang out before, we have people hang out after.
Yeah.
So, and we keep the mic strictly to 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah, we are pretty good about not grinding that time.
What's the format? How much time do people get? How are you picking?
5
Who goes
minutes.
up? Okay.
We have had performers sign up beforehand, though, I think all people struggle with this, right? Like, how do you make sure people show up? Because people will take the performer slots
And then
maybe
show
not come. And then other people were told, sorry, we don't have room for other performers. And maybe they would have come and taken that spot. So that is the one sticking point that is something we're trying to work on. We might change how we do that because it's frustrating when you had performer slots full and then they no call, no show, basically. And then you could have given that opportunity to someone else because we do keep it small.
Gotcha. Are you curating it a little bit, or is it really just like first sign-ups?
It really is first sign-up. I mean, it's slightly curated in that you have to RSVP and be approved because it is at Kayla's house.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We're not going to have anyone who is completely disconnected from us, who is a 100% stranger that doesn't have at least a mutual friend to vouch for safety because it's her house.
Right.
But
That's the
we're
thing, is
not asking for tapes or anything,
No. So basically, like, we've tried a lot of different formats as far as signups and stuff. What I've figured out at this point, it works for me, is to put out an event invite through Partiful and promote on Instagram. If I'm organized enough, I'll put out the email as well. But I think that probably in November, what we're going to do so that we can avoid any no call, no shows, because we have a lot of regulars who come anyway, is just to say, you know what, there's going to be a sign up list. And first come, first serve, and then
come early, sign up.
And that's how it goes, because we know that we have people that are going to come. We're not worried about them.
Yeah, it's never been that nobody showed up. It's that the audience is here and the performers didn't show up, which is so odd to me, too.
Right. So you said never. Was it a hit from the get-go, or was there a moment where you're like, oh, this might work?
I mean, not to like brag, I know that it would be better if it'd be like, oh, well, we weren't sure.
Look, there's been a couple shows with pretty light crowd that we weren't expecting. Like, it's not like everyone's out of the park. But as far as I have hosted other open mics, and all of the ones we've done have been enjoyable at the end of the day. There was never like I'm really suffering through this one, or like there's just one guy and how am I even going to make this not weird, which has happened at other mics. Like, and our lows have not been as low as...
Yeah, and I'd say like 80% of the time, we've got at least 20 audience members. Yeah. Which is like, that's good.
For an open mic?
Absolutely.
That's pretty good.
For an indie show.
So you guys are technically kind of like the first venue that I've interviewed, and so I'm curious, this may or may not apply, but like, what are you guys getting out of it?
So I'll speak for myself. So I have been active in the comedy community in LA in many various forms for a very long time. And like, my first love is acting, and I kind of fell over backwards into comedy because people told me I was funny. And so I started doing improv and sketch, and I hosted a variety show that was a booked variety show pre-pandemic called The Scramble.
Which was my first show I ever did in LA, and that's how we met.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I love that. I love that fact.
I submitted to you right after I moved. I'm like, what shows can I submit to? Hey, can I do your weird mic at 3 in the afternoon on a Sunday?
Yeah, and it was a proper booked show that we did. Erica Curry and I co-hosted
You
it.
had open submissions, and I was looking for that.
Yeah, and it went for 4 years. And we started in a warehouse with pillows on the floor. And I like doing really unconventional things.
Yeah.
So I was like, how can I host a show and sell tickets and not compete with other people? So we did it at 12 p.m. on Sundays with mimosas and donuts. And it was a really big hit because the time slot, it was so unusual.
Nothing else. Yeah.
There is no competition. And what was really fun was by the end of it, we had a lot of touring comedians from all over the world who would email us and be like, hey, I'm going to be in town from London or Chicago or wherever. Can I come do your show before I go play this fill-in-blank giant venue in LA later tonight? And that was really exciting. So anyway, long story short, as far as the purpose of me like hosting shows in general, it started off as something really selfish, but then it's also kind of a community service. So it's like, one, as an artist, I get a regular place where I have to be accountable to bring something new to the table, and I get the privilege of having this stage time, right? And I'm creating it and I'm putting in the work to do it, but then also like I get to see and be inspired by all these other artists that come through. And I get to provide that space for them. So it's really just a nice ecosystem. And at my house, it's like we're on an acre and a half, like why not share that with the community?
Yeah.
We should be throwing events, you know?
Yeah. And you don't have to commute, so you can't beat that.
I mean,
I would say the best mic is the closest one to home.
I don't have an excuse.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. The one that gets you up.
But yeah, for you, I mean, what do you think? What is the purpose for you?
Sam, I've been doing this for very long in different forms. You know, stand-up not as long. I did a lot of sketch and improv and musical comedy beforehand, which is how I found the scramble. Like, where can I also do something different, not just stand-up? And I mean, first of all, I just love getting to work with you, getting to be in a safe space, in a cool venue, doing something alternative. It keeps me like, gives me something to work towards because I'm the kind of person that will definitely let it fall out. I have ADHD, shocker, every comedian in the world. But so months will go by, I haven't done anything if I'm focused on other stuff. So having this gives me like a benchmark, like, okay, I've got to do something there. It feels like it keeps me active. And I actually also really do love hosting. Yeah. Like it is a weird skill I like doing. I like improvising with the audience. I like interacting with you.
It's
and
fun.
so I get to keep my hosting muscles up without having to book a whole show myself at a venue and there's money on the line, or, you know, do it for someone else where it's like a whole different thing. So I get to flex that muscle, which I don't get to do a lot. And I get to go to the farm and have like a moment of remembering that LA isn't just fucking Hollywood, which is really nice whenever I get to do that.
So both of you kind of touched on something with having that consistent booking, right?
Yes.
And driving some writing, right?
Yes.
And so I found that sometimes the booking gets me inspired to write, and then sometimes the writing gets me inspired to book
Yeah.
the show. You experience kind of both sides of that?
Yeah, I think either way. I mean, I think that a deadline, nothing will inspire me to write more than a deadline and knowing that I'm going to be on stage, truly.
Well, for me, even, it's like, I am such a last minute person. It's always just been how my brain has worked. Like I did the National Lampoon Presents the Final Edition podcast when I first got here. And I remember the guys I worked with were always like, how are you? They'd always come meet me at the bar right before and be like, hold on, I'm finishing my sketch. Because I always do it like in that hour right before. That's when my brain will suddenly work. I'll think about it all day. I should write a thing. And then it just doesn't happen until an hour before. So like I haven't written new stand-up or whatever. And then I get to the mic and I'm like, I have to go up. What am I going to say to these people? And that's when I go, this happened, this happened, this happened. And then I kind of write on stage at this point. But the only new jokes I've come up with in the past few months are because I was on stage at Fireside, and it made me think of like, what do I want to talk about? What do I want to write about? And then I came up with a couple good jokes, I think.
Yeah, and it's really cool too, like getting to practice hosting and crowd work. The only way to do that is by hosting a show with an audience.
Yeah, you can't really practice crowd work on your own. It's really hard.
I wanted to try to like go up with nothing or something and just see what happens. But yeah, with the wrong audience, it's just, that's not going to play.
Yeah.
And we've got a really warm room, you know, because it's like, as hosts, you know, we're going up a lot in between people. And so a lot of times we're in between people and you find a little tag because someone talked about something and you go, oh, I got a joke about that. And then suddenly I have a new bit that I never would have thought of if I didn't hear them talk about that topic.
That is one of my
can
favorite
live on
parts.
beyond that stage.
It does happen.
Yeah.
I got a great joke from a tag that I got from another open mic, actually. I was like, I thought of this tag for you, and then later I was like, no, actually, this is a joke for me. Why am I giving you a tag to your joke that was Like, I actually just wrote a good joke for me, and I should keep that.
Yeah.
Nice, excellent. So you said both of you hosted a bit kind of before we opened this one. How did the first hosting gig kind of come about? If you can remember that far back.
First time I hosted was probably the first show I booked, right? It came out of necessity of...
Where were you?
In
New York?
Yeah. Yeah. I put together my first variety show. Again, I had a character that I think she's coming back this year. People want to see her back.
Wait, tell him about Gan.
So Gan is a pop star from Slovenia, and she just believed that America is such a great place of opportunity, freedom, you know, like you can do whatever you want. It's super cool, like, you know, is a super big hit song I write is If You Want to Dance, Dance. If you want to don't. It's America. Do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You know, it's freedom. So she's just very fun. And
Look up the music video.
I do have music videos. One with El Jefe
my
from
God.
NoFX plays my DJ in a music video. Because the comedy world in LA is weird. He's a wonderful, hilarious person.
Wait, who was it? It was
El Jefe, who's the
El Jefe,
guitarist
yep,
in NoFX,
yeah.
plays
And
my
trumpeter,
German, yes,
yeah.
and trumpet. But he plays my German DJ. And Gen did a song during quarantine called "Make America Great with Gen." Because, you know, America is still land of opportunity for immigrants from Slovenia, like me and Melania. So, you know, certain immigrants still great, just from these countries are the ones, you know. So she's kind of always has a positive outlook, even toxically.
yeah.
She was, whatever. It's a character
I'm
been
a huge
long-
fan. I'm a huge fan.
I love it, and I need to bring it back. It was, again, ultimately, at the end of the day, was me trying to make my mom laugh,
Right.
which is what's so beautiful about it. And then my mom passed away a few years ago, so it's been like a kind of a thing to bring her back, which is why I think the time is coming.
Yeah, the world deserves,
Sorry,
the world needs Gen.
I just had to
Right.
take a.
No, it's fine. You cried and you dropped. I get it.
For those of you listening, I had to take it. This is a stand-up podcast, and we are standing. I don't have a stool to put my water on, so in order
If
to
you're listening, they didn't see you squat.
right, but I apologized, you know, and so I had to squat down to get my water. What did you say we needed to call that?
Solidarity.
A piss squat,
Also, if
Squirt squat.
squirt squat.
if you're listening, get on YouTube and watch and
Yeah, you're missing how fucking hot we are. Okay?
yeah, you're missing half the thing.
So the first time I hosted was me putting together a variety show so that I could do more Gen bits because I did not know where to bring. I have a weird musical number as a pop star where I was making these elaborate costumes. This is right when Lady Gaga had started.
Okay.
Too. So I was making my own costumes in a like very Gaga but on a dollar store budget.
Sure.
So I would have weird things like I made a whole outfit out of Christmas lights that I said I stole from my neighbor that I just wrapped around myself in fishnets. Which let me tell you, there's LEDs now. It's probably better, but those things got real fucking hot by the end of a 4-minute song. I'd have to I would unplug myself at the end of the song because it was starting to burn my skin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very New York artsy alternative.
I'm obsessed with you.
But I couldn't bring this to somebody else's show, so I had to host a show.
Right.
And then I would put in variety acts, because I've always loved variety. I get tired of anything 3 in a row, so why do 3 comics when I can have, like, you know, an improv team and a musician and a whatever. So I actually booked some people that are pretty more famous than me now.
Yeah.
On my variety show that I hosted at the Creek in the Cave, back when it was in New York, which is now in Austin. Rebecca moved it there, I think, over a pandemic. But that helped me host. And I hosted as a long time as Gen, which helped because I also started as an actress. So it was much easier for me to talk to an audience as a character.
Yeah.
And it took me many years, decade at least, to be comfortable doing that as Sam. Still struggle sometimes, but you know, we're getting used to it. So that was how I got into hosting because I could do it as a character, and that made it easier for me. But it was mostly because I booked it myself.
Nice. And that's interesting to host in character because I've thought of like open mics as an opportunity to, you know, you can test your material or you can kind of try out a new character or something like that. But to actually stay in it the whole night and come in and come out of it, that's a different approach. And
Oh,
you know,
it
you
was
get
getting
more
real
time.
Kaufman-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking back because it's been a minute, but yeah, as far as like my start in hosting, so yeah, like I said, I came up through UCB. That's where I went to like learn about improv and everything.
Here?
Yes, UCB LA.
I did it in New York. Actually.
was in-
It was funny, but never in LA.
Yeah, I'm from Los Angeles. I'm an LA native. The few, the proud, the brave.
She's real. She's real.
I'm a unicorn.
But really, I'm the unicorn.
And I went to NYU, so I did live in New York for a while. And fun fact, Lady Gaga was in my freshman year dorm at NYU.
Did a Gen show at one point at Parkside Lounge where she used to go-go.
See, this is all full circle.
You knew Stephanie?
I knew Stephanie Germanata as, yeah, she was playing shows at the bitter end, and she was a little singer-songwriter, nice lady.
I used to live in New York. I
Yeah.
think I saw her walking down the street one time, and like it's kind of hard to like miss her sort of a little bit, but it was these giant sunglasses and heelless heels, which I'd never seen before and kind of became popular after that. But there was like no security or anything like that with her.
When was this?
What era?
2000 and like it would have been between like 9 and 12.
Oh, when she was popping off.
Yeah, it was. I mean, she was certainly hitting it. It was before like Monster Ball, which is I saw.
No, but it was when she
But
was
she had
Lady
done
Gaga.
Oh, yeah.
It was post Stephanie Germanoff.
That's when
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was, not to tell you the New York Dirt, stealing Lady Starlight's business.
I will not be commenting on that.
Oh,
I don't know
that was
anything
just
about
the
that.
gossip between the Go-Go's.
You know what time it is?
I do.
What time is it?
It is feature time. It's so. This is our bucket
Was not
of
informed
games.
of this bit.
Yep,
Wait, what?
bucket of games.
Okay.
So we're doing
Taking
games from a
glasses off to
bucket.
be cute.
Right now, we're gonna play
It says
a game.
bucket of games.
Thank you.
Bucket of games. We're gonna play one-word answer.
Okay.
Kind of get the gist. There's gonna be a prompt in here. Just say the first one word that pops into your head.
Do we take turns?
Wow, see, now that's funny because you guys are in competition with everyone else that's been on the show. And you two can earn extra points if you say the same answer at the same time.
Oh, so mind meld.
We're trying to mind meld.
If you can, but you guys are both
Wait.
going to answer at the same exact time.
Okay, let's do this.
My thoughts to your thoughts.
Okay, we're ready. We're ready. We're
Okay, we
ready.
got it.
We got it. We got to be
Put our
together.
tits together. It's where I think best.
Excellent. Okay. And away we go. Most overused topic at open mics right now.
Dating app.
Oh,
At the same time.
I was gonna say dicks.
Okay.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay.
The appendage or the euphemism for mean people?
The appendage.
Gotcha. Writing fuel.
Coffee.
I was gonna say dicks.
Okay, we should do 1, 2, 3, and then we'll say it one.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I need to look at you. I need to look at you.
Okay, you guys got this one.
Okay.
What's a random word you can think of?
1, 2, 3. Lipstick.
Pineapple.
Ooh.
This is too hard.
Okay, there's some of them are easier.
Okay.
Would you skydive?
1, 2, 3. Yes.
No.
Wait, you, little Miss Risk Taker.
I'd probably let somebody push me, but I don't know if I'd ever do it on my own.
Wait, doesn't that count as a yes?
Okay, fine. Yes.
We're
point.
dangerously into more than one word answers. When we,
I'm sorry. We just, you know,
It's true.
emotion before you go on stage.
excitement.
I'm gonna, yeah, that's. What is your favorite conspiracy theory?
Aliens.
My mind just went, please don't say 9/11.
What? I don't know. Why would I say
I
that?
don't know. I got in my head about it. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Comedy hero.
Oh, okay. Sarah
Sarah
Silverman.
Love it.
Yay!
What's a color other than red?
Purple.
Hello.
Okay.
Funniest sound.
Fart.
Oh yeah, I thought we were supposed to make the fart.
Well,
Okay.
but I said it and you did it.
We did the same thing.
This just says peeing in the shower.
Yes. Oh, that's right. It flushes itself.
What was your first joke topic ever?
You can do it separate on this one.
Being a nanny.
Okay.
I was a nanny at the time,
Nice.
and a kid touched my vagina, and I was like, you're one smile away from being a pedophile.
I was in a play. I was 9 years old.
One word.
Oh, fuck. Penguins. Penguins.
Love it. Sorry to cut you off.
Wow.
One word.
Wow, I didn't realize you were writing jokes so young.
Best sandwich meat.
Pastrami. I was like, what is
I could tell your lips aren't going where mine are.
I know, but I was trying to see where yours were going.
A little more rapid. Let's.
Okay, sorry.
We got time.
Well, but just for the, yeah. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Trying to keep
Biggest,
us honest, okay.
biggest distraction.
My phone.
I always found you.
Yeah. Comedic weapon.
1, 2. Wait, what does that mean though?
Like, what is your hidden talent? What comedic weapon are you bringing to the table?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know mine.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Tits.
Tons. Also tits, yeah.
Me too. Best outdoor temperature.
Ooh. 72.
degrees. Oh, 72.
Oh, started. So close.
So close. I was 2 tits off.
If you were a Muppet.
Miss Piggy. She's the only answer.
I
You
think
did the sound. Yeah.
you might be right. Open mic snack.
Chips.
Potato chips, yeah.
Chips. Excellent. So that is it. Thank you for playing.
Wait, no skydiving though?
Okay, fine, I'll do it. Fine.
I don't make any money doing stand-up. I spend a little money doing stand-up. So, we're all trying to support this art that we're doing. How do you guys support your comedy?
That's a fun. Well, many different ways. Like I said, it's not so my main thing is not comedy. I do it as a way, like, I have to be on stage at least once a month to, as I say, kind of like get my yayas out. I have to scratch that itch. So before I was doing comedy, I was doing plays, and then I was doing improv, sketch, etc. So, like, my main thing is I do freelance video editing, I produce films, I act, like I'm kind of in the filmmaking and indie filmmaking world. So in a lot of different various aspects, I collaborate with my husband, Joe Rubenstein. He's like a very prolific music video director, and I produce a lot of the stuff that he works on. And we kind of have made it into a bit of a family business, which has been fun. And, I freelance as well.
Yeah, I've done many a weird gig. I've got a collection of weird gigs. I'm trying to write a book about it, actually. Eventually I'll write that book. But my other jobs right now are surveying and bartending at various places. I'm at the Mint, which is a venue around here sometimes, picking up shifts for random stuff. I work at a few members-only parties in Los Angeles. If you know, you know. So, yeah, lots of weird gigs. Sometimes I babysit, other side of the spectrum, but actually same skill set, very patient around people that are often drooling and dropping things. Yeah, lots of random gigs. Sometimes I do weird radio jobs or, whatever random freelance artsy things one can find and stumble into on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I've done, prior to what is happening right now, I've done every job under the sun. I've walked dogs. I've been a shot.
I walked your dog for money.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, I've walked dogs. I've been a shot girl. I've been like a salesperson at Bloomingdale's. I was a denim professional. I used to be like the woman, like in the women's denim department. I would figure out which jeans make your butt look the best.
Honestly,
That's an amazing skill.
that would be a skill I need to tap you for.
So the pocket placement is very important, as it turns out.
What pockets do I need?
We'll talk about it after the
you've seen
podcast.
them.
Can you relocate the pockets?
Well, no, I just said we have to select the jeans that have the right pocket placement and the right curve and the angle. And that's what's fun about all these crazy gigs that happen when you're in the arts, is that you pick up little stories and little skills, and you meet all these crazy people along the way, and that's what adds more to the fabric and the texture and everything of your comedy.
I used to write for a couple cannabis websites. As I used to say in comedy, like I was a reporter for the Marijuana Times, but I only wrote puff pieces. That was a really fun gig, though. I wrote reviews of weed for a while. It was a good writing job. I was like a brand ambassador.
But you literally were getting paid to smoke weed and review it.
Yes.
What a dream.
It was the best. And they kept me employed during most of the pandemic. God bless it, properhigh.com. They were so good to us. And the only reason they let us go is like, we realized customers are just writing reviews for free. And I'm like, damn it. It's true.
Questions about that. So would you smoke and then write stoned, or would you smoke, experience the high, sober up, and then write sober?
Well, so I would always smoke and then try to write it stoned and then realize that was a terrible idea and then have to actually go back and write it later.
Yeah.
But I would make all these notes while I was stoned to remember the mind space. But then you go back and you're like, this is I went on a real tangent there that ended up being like a poem, which is not like I can't use this. But for some of them too, I would try to like create an experience to give me like a through line to write about, because you can only write, oh, it made me feel like this so many times. So it's like, okay, I smoked this and I went to this concert. Or I smoked this and I went to this farmer's market. Or I ate this edible and I went to this thing, so that it would give me a story to wrap the experience around.
That's smart.
Yeah, I actually did care about that job and did put a lot of work into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like little notebooks or note apps? It was funny things happen throughout the day, of course.
Yeah.
Notes app, yeah. Always.
Yeah, well, because you were asking about the writing process
Yeah.
and like deadline versus inspiration, and the writing process is all the time.
Yeah.
And it is also tied into weed, because like I am a gummies girl. I love my edibles, especially at night to go to sleep or to relax or whatever. And so like, it's not always just when I'm stoned, but often like I'll just like write little silly stoned ideas, you know, and then the next day or whenever I come back to it, then when I'm ready to put together a new set, I'll scroll through and I'll see, are there any winners here?
Yeah.
Sometimes there aren't, but a lot of times there are.
Yeah, that is a big open mic thing, even before ours, where it's like, oh, time to open the notes app.
Yeah.
What do I have in there? I was actually part of a Facebook group once, which has died, unfortunately, but it was a great Facebook group, and it was literally just like, please tell me why I wrote this in my notes. And we would all just post like the random, you're like, guy with weird visor, dog,
my
question
God.
mark, and we'd
Oh
post
my
that and be like,
God.
why? Why? It was like 90%
Yeah.
comedians. Just like, why? Somebody tell me what I meant by this.
Yeah, it's
I
like
have no
mom,
idea.
monkey, window. Like, and it's like, I've learned over the years that like I do have to give my future self more context
Yes.
for jokes.
Because in the moment you're like, this is so funny, I'll never forget this. And then you're like, Charlie Kirk baseball, I don't know what we're talking about.
And so now what I'll do sometimes, which is actually a little bit more useful, is voice memos.
Sure.
And if,
Oh, I've done that too, but I never go back and listen to them.
but well, yeah, you got
I have a huge collection of weird idea voices.
So you've got a treasure trove next writing day.
but now you got stuff to dig through.
They're in the ADHD piles. There's many ADHD piles.
Is it one note with all the ideas, or do you kind of separate it week?
They're different, but then I
out,
also
or-
won't title the note, so it's like I don't know what number 6. Because I also do music, so I'll open something and not know what I'm gonna get.
Right.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's hard. I remember I posted on Instagram once when I was trying to get really serious about making a longer stand-up set, right? Because I was starting to get booked on bigger gigs where they're like, hey, do 10, 15 minutes, like longer, which I know to maybe the audience doesn't sound like a long time, but
It is long as hand up.
Well, 15's not a long time, but being very funny solidly for
tight
15
fit.
minutes straight.
no, but
that's
for a
when it's-
newer stand-up comic, 5 minutes to get that first type 5 is a big deal, and then building, you know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But,
once I did like an hour, and I was like, whoa, I'm lucky I have songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I posted on Instagram, and it was really interesting hearing back people's different systems, and almost everybody was just like, well, just use the Notes app. Just use the Ducks. And I was like, okay, so no one has actually figured out a system.
No one
and,
except when the Joan Rivers documentary,
yeah.
she has this very extensive note card filing system, like a whole fucking library.
Oh, see, Joan Rivers had it figured out.
It's really
okay.
cool to see. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I need to watch that.
Yes,
we
it's a
all
great
need to watch that, because I do like organizing. I just don't know what the system is.
Yeah.
And the problem is that it's like I have my little notes app stuff, and I have a thing, it's called Stupid Funny. So then the title of it is casual, so I know that I can throw anything in there. And then I have a Google Doc that feels more formal, so then I have like written jokes in there.
Yeah.
But then it's like, it's so many pages long now, because I'll copy and paste something and rework it and whatever. So I guess to answer your question, like, the system is flawed at best.
Right.
But we have it.
Yeah,
And
I'm in America. I'm in America. I'm an American. I am like America. The system is a little broken.
but I have my past videos of sets to reference, and I also have past, like, I love my little tiny notebooks.
Yeah.
And what I do is when I have my little set list, I have my little bullet points. Kind of the same as when a band is going up to play and they have their songs, right? So I'll have a set list that makes no sense to anyone else. And it'll say, Peacock, emo kid, you know, like peanut butter, whatever, right? No one knows what that means, but I know, right? Or it'll have just the punchlines to the jokes in my sets.
Right.
And I'll have 10 of those. I'll just lay it on the stool. Half the time I don't even look at it, but I'll look at it a lot when I'm prepping to go up.
Right.
And I'll have it in my head, and that really helps.
How scripted are your jokes?
When I started, because I also write and I come from like this writing background, I thought that I had to get everything to the word, down to the precise word, because that one word can change so much. And I was really driving myself kind of crazy about that. And when I would always get up there and forget the precise wording that I had just worked on. And then I realized even when I would do the precise wording, it changes so much, especially as somebody that comes from an improv background. And with the hosting skill, what that is talking to the room you're in. And
Yes.
each rooms are going to be a little different, and they're going to bring a different energy. And if they're having a down day, or if they're having an up day, or literally just the, makeup of the people in the room, it helps to adjust that precise wording to fit the audience rather than be so married to, I've got this formula down. So now I know I'm going to be a little loose with it, and I just need to remember what my key words are and like what the key punch is.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten a little bit more lax and just realizing like I'm always going to be feeling it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's going to help it feel fresh, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of in the scripted phase where like my bits are kind of like poems. And then I underline and bold kind of the key words or the punchlines like you were saying.
Well, I also think each comedian, each artist is going to have a different way. Like each songwriter doesn't write songs the exact same way.
You have your own style. And I think you stick with what feels true to you.
Right.
Right? So if you look at different comics, every person has a different way of doing something. And there are certain comics where the fact that they are word perfect on their jokes is what sells the joke.
Right. I think Seinfeld is kind of a prime example.
Or like
the word
Stephen
play.
Wright. Like if you're doing tight jokes, there's not a lot of improv in those, know?
And yeah, for me, I would say the way that I work is I want my opener, like I do feel out the room. And that is, I am not a shy person. There's not a shy bone in my body. And that was something that I really love about stand-up is breaking that fourth wall and locking eyes with a friendly audience member and telling the joke just right to them.
I hate it.
Well,
I don't want to
know,
lock eyes
and
with anybody. It's weird. I'm
and that's the
actually much more
difference.
shy than you. Yeah.
Right? But you wouldn't think that.
You would not think it.
Yeah.
If you met us on the street, you'd think that I'm like the big, open, gregarious one, but I'm actually way more timid.
Right. But and I think for me, so I feel out the room and whatever, but for me, I need that first opening joke. I want it to have more structure for me, and I want to get that big laugh, and then I'm off to the races. And then I get goosey, and I do what I want, and I have like an idea of where I want my set to go, but I also am taking the temperature of the room and seeing what people are responding to, and I am prepared to take a hard left turn.
Right.
So if I am talking about, like I was talking about my little set list, I have a whole bit about me being an emo kid back in high school and how I used to only date guys with, where like between the ages of 14 and 21, I never dated a guy where you could see more than one of his eyes at the same time, right? And that hits a lot of times. But there are some rooms where people do not get that joke.
Yeah.
Or I start talking about live journal. They don't get that, right? And sometimes I can look at the room and I don't even bother telling that.
Yeah.
I don't go there.
I gotta feel like that too. Like they're not gonna get that one.
Or politics. I'm not really a political comedian anyway, but sometimes there's a little something I'll throw in if there's something happening in the news, and you just see. And but by the same token, if it goes really well, then I go, oh, let me riff, right? And I like to leave room for riffing in my sets.
Okay.
And I like to talk with the audience. And sometimes I like to ask a question and really just go that way too.
Yeah, I
in the
finally
middle.
worked out like a crowd work bit that I can do where there's like a format to it, so I kind of know where I'm going with the crowd work.
Yes.
Which it's not super open-ended, so if they say something weird, I still know where I can come back to in my weird like bit I've got going on.
Sure. I only go into the crowd if I have a kind of a punchline for either response.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's yes or
which is
no.
what I've
Yeah.
I don't want to give my bit away.
No, of course. You've got
Don't burn it. No.
you've written it as if it's an SAT question, and you got the multiple choice,
exactly.
and you got the thing. But that's so like that's so valid,
Yeah.
And
right?
then I always have my songs that I can go to, which when I feel like sometimes you're trying to engage with the crowd and they are not engaging. Like, who knows? Everyone had a bad day. There was traffic. There's only 4 people there and this couple's fighting or whatever it is. and I'll find myself, or I'll feel adrift, and then time to go to the song. And the songs are written meticulously. To the
Sure.
word. Those ones are poems and change very rarely.
Yeah.
And I will say, just to gas her up, because like Sam is just such a talented musician, and her songs always hit. There is not a crowd that is not excited to hear her music.
Are
Or
they
sometimes they
comedy or no?
It's their funny songs.
Okay.
You know?
Gotcha.
Well, I try to always explain them as good songs that happen to be funny
Yeah.
because I don't believe in comedy music where people think it's funny to play bad music. I do not think that's funny. I think it's painful. And unfortunately, there's just a lot of comedy music where the music is very secondary.
Right.
So my whole thing is like they're mostly very honest love songs. So there's truth in them. Like they are all real love songs about real people, about real feelings.
Yeah.
But they're like honest to the point of like, yeah, I liked you because you were such a fuck up. It made me look good. You know, we've been in those relationships. They're usually relatable. The thing that's nice about songs is people can enjoy them without being vocal. You're not listening for that laugh response because sometimes people are enjoying things, but they're not vocal and they're not giving you the response that we like want so badly as comedians. Like I want those laughs. So I'll play a song and I'm not like hearing the responses or anything. And then people be like, oh, I loved that. Because they can sit. I think it's also like a generation of people that aren't used to live entertainment. They're used to watching screens where you don't have to laugh. You know, nobody's hearing it.
You have to respond at all, right?
And then you go, I liked that, I didn't like that. Like they're not used to the interactivity actually of being in a live audience.
Yeah.
And realizing that as the performer, we are yearning for that. Give us something. And they're just like staring like a screen,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, that's why I love theater and live performance. It's like that is the connection, the community. This is how I feel alive, is to connect
Yeah.
in that community. And, you know, I mean, obviously there's something broken inside of me that I got to go in front of people and have them clap for me and laugh for me to feel alive. But at least I figured that out about myself. A lot of people can't figure out what does that for them.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, getting us
Takes a
to does
lifetime
not help
for
you.
some
do
people.
other
and I
things.
think like as a comic, having like a fail safe where you know, and not every, maybe it takes a while to find this, but you know, no matter what the crowd is, that they're gonna love it or that it's gonna go. Like I live on a farm. I have a bunch of stupid fucking bird calls that I can do, and no matter what, I don't know if it's because people are embarrassed for me or they're confused or whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those like you could be laughing at me for the right reason or the wrong reason. I don't care.
But
You're laughing.
it works. Like it breaks the tension in the room,
Sure.
right? So, I mean, I don't know. Should I?
You gonna do a peacock? We did talk about them.
And usually, you know,
That even sounds prettier.
I know it's usually
They're
like,
very like
there's
pterodactyl.
this, you know, there's a little bit of this, and
This is why you get on live. This is why you watch the video, guys.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's Peacock and Eve.
No, this is what the sounds to bring it back to the fireside that you will hear.
Yeah, if you
At the
would like to
fireside
hear
mic.
this for real and not just my impression of it, when there is a big laugh or a big clap or a big anything,
Yeah.
the peacocks
We'll
sometimes do
hear
yell
from,
back.
like, from yonder darkness. Ah! I can't tell if that means they like it or they hate it. I still haven't figured it out.
You know, we're gonna.
Or they're trying to mate with your car. You said they're trying to.
Yeah. There's a there's a peacock named Hank who hops the fence every day to try and mate with my car.
Because it's blue. It's a blue print.
Nice. With like, okay.
You know, it's
I've never thought. Oh, we are getting the light.
wow.
I'm enjoying
All right, let me
myself,
wrap it up.
though.
I'm
guess
just going to
No,
do
it's
two
I guess-
10-minute bits.
I guess the bird calls aren't really going over well at this venue, so I know where I'm not welcome.
Sometimes we get the light with like a minute left. This is like we're ending it now. So I really want to thank the two of you for stepping up to the mic today. It was a pleasure, and thanks to everyone out there chasing stage time. I have been Isaac, and we will catch you next week with more stories from the scene.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.